Let me start this by saying that this isn't a hit piece. This isn't partisan spin. This isn't right versus left. This is about something much simpler. Black Lives Matter just got caught. I mean, red-handed in 4K. And for the first time, there's no slogan, no media cover, and no way to talk their way out of it. Let me show you how we got here.
You spent $100,000 on a trip to Disney once. How much have you spent on charitable causes this year? Let's start cooking these pancakes.
This year technically just started, so this year, I mean, like, it's hard to.
What about last year?
Well, last year, it's hard to gauge.
All right. So what about the year before last year?
Oh, well, that year, that's a good year. Yeah, it's just blurry. I be doing so much.
BLM? Since you want to be so black powered?
BLM is a scam.
Clip that. Send it to the fucking news.
BLM was literally a scam. They had bought mansions, and you probably wouldn't know anything about it because you don't care about black people. So you don't follow black
I do care about black people. Look at my chocolate. You're mad.
It's a disguise.
You're mad. I think I'm literally the most pro-black person in this room.
Because you have an all-white staff?
They're not white. They're POC. I'm gay. Thank you. What? Don't laugh.
I too have a gay, so I also am.
Gay?
Now pause right there. This clip hits a lot different this time around. Now, if you don't know, this was a clip that actually went viral earlier this year, I believe in March, as you can see when it was posted right here. Now, that wasn't a politician. That wasn't Fox News. That wasn't some random Twitter troll at all. That's a rapper by the name of Lil Yachty, someone with zero incentive to say this unless he meant it. Now, when celebrities start saying the quiet part out loud, it's usually because the lie's already cracking. Ooh, wait till y'all see what y'all about to see. But here's the real question. If BLM was really about Black lives, why have so many people been asking the same thing lately?
Now, maybe there's a little misunderstanding on my part, but y'all know that the group Black Lives Matter, right? The so-called activist group that, they not exactly sure what they do. I know they get a lot of money for it, but I'm assuming because of the name, they remind people of the importance of Black lives. Yeah, okay. Anyway, why is it that this organization, Black Lives Matter, seems to be ignoring atrocities like the ones in Nigeria where Christian Nigerians are being targeted and the media is lying about it? Why is it that when those Black lives are being slaughtered in mass, why is it that they don't show up? I mean, maybe it's just me and I'm chronically online and I need to go into the real world, but I haven't seen a single protest, right? They just had the No King situation with, the wokety woke folk on the left. And for some reason, maybe I missed it. Maybe I blinked and it was done. The protest for the Black lives that are, well, then again, technically Black lives losing their lives at the hands of other Black lives. So I guess that's not in their department or something like that. Yeah, never mind.
Now, that question hits harder than any accusation. Now, why does BLM care about, why doesn't they care about, why don't they rather? Am I saying that right? Why don't they care about conservatives? Not why don't they agree with me politically, but this. Why are they when Black lives don't fit the narrative? Christian Nigerians slaughtered, entire communities displaced, and suddenly nothing, no marches, no hashtags, no statements. And when the movement goes silent selectively, people eventually stop asking why and start asking, what are they really there for? Which brings us to this. Yeah, scoot this down a little bit. Now, I want to read this up here. Breaking. Tashella Dickerson, a BLM Oklahoma City leader, was just indicted for wire fraud and money laundering. It also says BLM OKC reportedly raised more than $5.6 million in bail funds to free George Floyd rioters. However, when bail funds were returned, Dickerson allegedly pocketed $3.5 million and returned bail checks into her personal account. She but she allegedly used this money to pay for luxury vacations, retail shopping, $50,000 in food, a vehicle, and 6 retail properties in OKC. And it also ends with, "You can't make this up." Now, we read that carefully. Federal indictment, riot, fraud, money laundering, millions, over 3 million to be exact. Not alleged miscommunication, not accounting errors, returned bail money, allegedly redirected into her personal account. Vacations, luxury spending. She even has multiple properties. At this point, it isn't even a debate, it's paperwork. But what makes this next part wild is what she used to say, wow, all of this was actually happening.
We're going to have to lift our voices and stand for one another like we never have before. Because at this juncture in this country, we are watching the systems of white supremacy, fascism, classism, and all of the hatred and vitriolic tactics used. We're going to have to.
Wow. This is what a story collapses under its own weight. No pun intended. Now listen to the language, the moral authority, the lecture, systems, oppression, justice. All while prosecutors now allege millions were being siphoned off from her behind the scenes. They love using all these words, bigotry and isms, right? And before anyone says, okay, but that's just one local chapter. No, because now institutions are involved.
Fox News alert, a BLM executive indicted for embezzling millions in donations and spending it on vacation, shopping, houses. Senior national correspondent Kevin Cork has the details. Kevin.
Crazy stuff, my friend. Authorities say over a 5-year period, 52-year-old Tashella Sharia Moore Dickerson, just like the song, the executive director of Black Lives Matter OKC, diverted more than $3 million in return bail checks right into her very own bank accounts. And tonight, thanks to a 25-count federal indictment, she faces up to 450 years behind bars and millions in potential fines. Dickerson charged with 20 counts of wire fraud and 5 counts of money laundering, following a scheme in which she's accused of routing money intended for the group's programs into accounts that she controlled between June of 2020 and October of 2025. The indictment said she used the money for her own personal benefit, including travel to Jamaica and the Dominican Republic, tens of thousands of dollars in retail shopping, more than 50 grand in food deliveries. Also a vehicle and 6 real estate properties as well. When contacted about the charges, a spokesperson for BLM says that they practice a, quote, model of decentralized leadership. Got it. Oh, and by the way, you've heard the expression, birds of a feather flock together. Well, I'm going to leave this right here, Jesse. That's Dickerson with Minnesota Congresswoman Ilhan Omar. Draw from that what you will. And while Dickerson is obviously presumed innocent until proven guilty, you may recall that BLM actually had a situation back in 2022 when the group, not the one from OKC, came under fire after allegedly making a $6 million property purchase in California using donor funds. Some things don't change.
This is the moment that the spin dies, okay? Once federal charges hit cable news, once prison time is actually on the table, the conversation changes. It does. This isn't about ideology anymore. It's about the big A word, you know, the word that we love over here, accountability, boldly. And if you still think this is exaggerated, I want you to watch what happens, or rather watch how local reporters, our commentators, break it down.
The executive director of Black Lives Matter Oklahoma City accused of spending millions of dollars in donations that were meant for her organization.
Reverend T. Cherie Dickerson, a well-known activist in Oklahoma City, has been charged with wire fraud and money laundering.
KOCO's Jason Berger has more on the indictment.
It is always very humbling and a privilege to be able to do the best you can at what I call being community.
For years, T. Cherie Dickerson has made many appearances in support of the Black Lives Matter movement. Thursday, she made her initial appearance in court, accused of using donations to the organization on herself. The indictment alleges the local OKC BLM chapter accepted charitable donations through its affiliates, and that Dickerson spent more than $3 million on things like vacations, clothes, and even real estate here in OKC. KOCO5 has interviewed Dickerson many times in years past. This was at a Black Lives Matter rally in May 2020.
We're here saying again that Black Lives Matter, as well as stop killing us.
Federal prosecutors allege Dickerson was spending money that was supposed to be used for pretrial bail for people arrested at protests following the death of George Floyd.
We are tired of not being listened to. We are tired of not being treated with the dignity and respect that they expect.
According to the DOJ, BLM OKC raised over $5.6 million, which included grants from national groups for that bail money. The indictment alleges Dickerson deposited at least $3.15 million in returned bail checks to her personal accounts. Dickerson posted a video to her personal Facebook page saying her attorneys advised her not to comment, but she did say, quote, "To many, this wasn't a secret. We know that it was coming, and so it has." And in that same Facebook video, Dickerson said these charges are common against people that do social activism work like this. The FBI OKC field office and the IRS led this investigation. In OKC, Jason Berger, KOCO 5 News.
Now, we know mainstream media is usually not to be trusted, but generally speaking, local news doesn't usually chase narratives. They chase documents, timelines, bank transfers, court filings, things of that nature. And when you hear a story told calmly without outrage, that's when it lands the hardest, because suddenly you begin to realize they didn't fall apart overnight. It unraveled slowly while people were told not to ask questions, which brings us to the uncomfortable ending.
The Black community has a huge accountability problem. And if you're not ready to accept that, then you're not ready for actual change. Because why is it that nobody can criticize the Black community? Because of slavery? Because slavery existed 160 years ago? I hate to break it to you, but slavery wasn't a unique American experience, okay? It was global, but you can't say anything or offer any solutions to the Black community, because if you do, and if you're white, then you're a racist. If you say something and you're Black, then you're a bootlicking traitorous coon. You can't make real positive changes without taking accountability and being able to take criticism. It's crazy how the Black community, we will take all kinds of government handouts, but we draw the line at taking solutions that will actually elevate the community. The Black community has a huge...
Boom. Hey, man. Somebody got to tell the truth, right? Here's what this really comes down to, though. When a movement teaches people that questions are violence, accountability is betrayal, and facts are racism, corruption doesn't sneak in. It's basically invited. That's why the silence matters. That's why the money matters. That's why the indictments matter. Because this wasn't just about one person stealing. It was about a culture where no one was allowed to ask where the money went, as long as the slogan sounded righteous. Trust me, I was one of the people that got a lot of comments. And the saddest part, though, the people who were told this movement spoke for them are the same people now being told to stay quiet while the truth is starting to come out. Real justice, it doesn't fear sunlight. Real, movements don't collapse under scrutiny. And real change doesn't require blind loyalty. If something only works when no one is allowed to question it, it was never built to help people. It was built to protect itself. It's not politics. That's not race. That's a warning. That's Black Lives Matter. So if you made it to the end of this video, I want you to write, aha. Yeah. Aha. Or no. Or we told y'all, for everybody else who's saying we was a conspiracy theorist and we was crazy. Yeah, we told y'all. Or aha, either one. You know, aha, we told y'all together. You know, it all works. Y'all be safe. Please go check on a friend today and quite literally be saving their life. Peace.